So the talk today is you don't have to be an extrovert to be great at networking. We live in a really extrovert biased world, and people are often rewarded for their social abilities and outgoing behavior. Now, sometimes as an introvert, we can feel pressured to exhibit more extroverted behavior, particularly in social or business situations like networking. And I'm here to encourage people today to say you don't have to behave like an extrovert to be great at networking. Introverts actually have some awesome qualities. They have superpowers of networking, and we just have to uncover those and discover those. But we can often feel disadvantaged. I have a lovely friend who commented she didn't think she was good at networking because she wasn't salesy enough. And I was really surprised at this because her genuine interest in people in a one-on-one setting makes her perfect at networking. So often the fact, thinking that we're not good at networking is the major problem, because we actually are. And today we're going to have a look at why and how, and hopefully convince you that as an introvert, you are actually really great. So first thing we'll do is just have a bit of a look at some definitions. Okay, before we go too far down the introvert and extrovert path, what does it even mean? Okay, basically, our brains are wired a little bit differently to each other. Introverts recharge their energy when they're alone and find that social situations, being around a lot of people, actually drains their energy so that they need that time alone. Whereas an extrovert, networking is like, oh, yeah, this is the best thing. They get their energy from networking, they get their energy from being around others, and they don't actually like being alone very much. You'll find when they're in the car, they'll be looking for some kind of stimulation, whether it be music, getting on the phone to their friends, whatever they're doing, they're always active and looking for stimulation. Whereas an introvert doesn't need so much stimulation. A lot of stimulation will send us into overload, and we desperately need to recharge. Okay, so just going to. Okay. So we're going to have a look at networking and just what it is, what it isn't, and yeah, just a little bit about why introverts can find it painful. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'm not sure why that's doing that. I'm hoping it stays there now. Okay, so there's some dictionary terms of networking, and it's the exchange of information or services among individuals or groups. It's about the cultivation of relationships, and it's interacting with others. So my version is that networking is about giving. So networking is not about selling, it's about helping people. It's about solving problems, it's about making friends, it's about building relationships. It's not about working a room or giving out business cards to everyone or seeing everyone as a prospect. We call that behavior vampire networking because it's typical of people who just want to suck you dry and only want to know you if they think that you're of use to them, that they can sell you something. So networking is not a competition to collect the most business cards or talk to the most people or get the most Facebook friends or likes or LinkedIn connections. It's about depth more than breadth, and it's about quality of connections rather than quantity. It was a huge epiphany to me to at last realize that networking is not about prospecting and it's not about finding someone to sell something to. Because that's one of the things that introverts actually find painful, is thinking that that is what they're supposed to be doing. Because networking is more about um, just meeting people and creating opportunity. That's probably the bottom line for networking, is meeting people, developing relationships, building on those, and wonderful, wonderful opportunities come from there. Networking is about allowing people to know, like, and trust you. We hear that all the time in business. People have to know, like, and trust you. because people only want to deal with those that they know, like, and trust. And it's difficult to deal with someone that you don't know. No one wants to deal with someone they don't like. And anyone with any sense refuses to deal with someone that they don't trust. So for me, networking, it's about giving. It's about giving without thought or expectation of getting something in return. It's about giving without hooks or strings attached. Most of us have belief in some form of reciprocity, whether it be karma or what goes around comes around. So I've really found that by being there to give, to help solve problems, that uh, those things come back to me. You know, me helping other people comes back to me tenfold. And I've, you know, whether it be in book sales or speaking opportunities or copywriting work or all sorts of incredible opportunities that kind of don't always fit the business mold, but they're a wonderful part of my life. I'm a big fan of networking for all the wonderful people that it's brought and opportunities it's brought to me. Okay, so why is it painful? It can sap our energy. The more frenetic the pace of networking, the busier it is, the quicker we get exhausted. And it's one of the reasons why you want to be careful about where you network. Networking can make us anxious. It can put us in an uncomfortable situation, especially, as I say, if it's a rah-rah kind of place, if it's a speed networking, that kind of thing, that's just not quite right for introverts. So once again, learn about where you're going to network. We can feel that sometimes we can feel we have to wear a mask, that we can't quite be ourselves with networking. And I'm going to really encourage you to be brave, to drop the mask, to be yourself, to be you, to be the unique person that you are. You don't have to pretend to be anyone else, and you certainly don't have to adopt extrovert behavior. Introverts are damn awesome at networking just how they are. We do find sometimes, though, because we're not in people's faces, we can be a little bit underestimated. But when people get to know us, they find out what we can really do. So that's why we need to encourage deep connections and build real relationships. Okay, okay, this was the real epiphany that helped me break through shyness and a lot of fear and anxiety around networking myself. I started networking, it was about over 20 years ago. Geesh, over 20 years ago. And at first I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I thought that I was there to prospect. I thought I was there to sell. I had, all these wrong ideas about what networking was about. And those ideas didn't fit with me and who I was. So it was when I discovered that, and I realized that networking, it wasn't about me. That that took the pressure off me. If I felt like I could put the focus on the other person, I could ask them questions, I could find out about them, take that spotlight off me because I'm not comfortable in it, and make it all about the other person. And at the end of the day, networking, it's not about you. It's about who you can help, how you can be of service. And yeah, just that one epiphany just took me from being so terrified to like, cool, I'm just going to go out and see who I can help today. Change my attitude. I could relax. I could have fun. So yeah, I highly recommend just having a think about that. Okay, so why do we network? We network to, as I say, develop relationships. We do network to do more business and make more sales and that kind of thing, but that's almost a byproduct. It's a product of developing relationships and connecting with those new people. It's a great way to find your tribe. We can often feel, that a little bit alone in the world sometimes, and it's really great to find those like-minded people. The, you know, yeah, just helps you find your place in the world. So you can foster opportunities for employment. So that's great. If you're looking for a job, then to find the places where the employers are. If you're an accountant looking for a job, you probably want to find a place where the accountants gather. But if you are an accountant looking for customers, then you're going to want to find a place where your potential clients are, whether they be small business people, medium-sized business people, that kind of thing. Um, I've also found that with networking, I've made a lot of friends, and um, I've also met a lot of great people, speakers and things like that, who've motivated me and inspired me, and I've learnt a lot of business tips. You also have the opportunity, you might meet someone who becomes a mentor. A mentor is so valuable in both your personal development and your business development. And as time goes on, you may actually become a mentor too yourself. But like I say there, networking, it's where relationships begin and opportunities abound. I think that's pretty much the bottom line for me. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the traits of great networkers. Okay, so these are the things that, these are the skills that great networkers have. So we're going to look at this generally, and then I'm going to follow up and show you that the skills that introverts naturally have. Okay, so great networkers have good communication skills. Communication's the key to just about everything. The success of both our business and personal relationships depends on our ability to communicate. And just a little heads up, introverts are really good at communication because they're great listeners. Okay, so that's the next part, is listening. Great networkers have great listening skills. They don't just listen to respond, they listen to understand. There's a really big difference in this, especially when it comes to introducing yourself, and you're often, when you're going to be asked what you do and that kind of thing. And so often we're busy waiting to have our chance to speak. We don't actually listen to the people who go before us. And introverts are just that little bit better at actually listening to what other people say and listening to understand and giving undivided attention. We also ask relevant questions. Okay, great networkers educate. When you network, you have the opportunity to educate the other person on what you do. So this is your elevator pitch. It's 2 or 3 good sentences about what you do, what makes you different or specialized. So to take the pressure off yourself so that you can actually listen to the other person instead of worrying about what you're going to say, have your elevator pitch ready. Learn it, memorize it. Doesn't matter if it's not off by heart, just so that you have enough of an idea what you're going to say so that you're not worried about it and anxious about it, and can actually listen when the other person tells you what they do. Good networkers know when to ask. An important part of networking is asking questions. Important part of life is asking questions. They know when to ask for further contact. They know when to ask, can we exchange business cards? Can we link on Facebook? That sort of thing. Ask, can we catch up for coffee? When a great networker meets someone that they'd like to work with or connect with, they ask the question, because you never know where that relationship will take you. Okay, great networkers are seekers. They actually look for opportunities to build relationships. They take the time to get to know people. And we also know that networking can take place outside of a business function. Networking's everywhere. At the supermarket, it's lining up for coffee, it's anywhere where there's other people. So building a relationship is it's a great way to gain trust. And great networkers value trust. They introduce and refer people that they not only know but trust. Referrals are gold. Giving someone a referral, it's your reputation on the line as well as that of the person that you are referring. So be very, very careful with those, and treasure the people around you that you can trust and can refer to. Okay, they complete the follow-up. Best networkers send a handwritten note or an email, or you can send a little message on Facebook or LinkedIn, however you've connected with people. But look, follow up is magic because so few people do it. Lots of us guilty about that. We'll go to a networking event, meet someone, and have a great conversation, and then either forget to connect on the spot. It's just so easy to connect on the spot. Say, hey, are you a Facebook person or a LinkedIn person? Get your mobile phones out. Do it right there and then. That is the best way. Later, you can follow up with a little message saying, hey, it was so great to meet you. And if you add a little note about what you spoke about, it acts as a really great prompt for conversation starter next time you see them. They might be heading off on holiday, and you say, "Hey, how was your holiday in?" Well, it's going to be in their own state at the moment. How was your holiday in Mackay? Did you have a great time? Did you get out to the reef? That kind of thing. Or if it's something about business, congrats on that award. So glad to see that you were nominated. Blah blah blah. But put a little bit of information there, and that will really help next time that you see them. It helps you pick the conversation straight up. And of course, networkers are givers. Number one trait, be of service, be there to help others without thought for yourself, give without hooks, give without expectation. Rightio, here we have the introvert advantages. So you're going to see we have 6 things there, 6 superpowers of introverts. And we had 8 traits of great networkers. You can see introverts actually have 6 of them naturally. These are the things you already do, the traits you already have that make you a fantastic networker. So we just have to uncover those superpowers and convince you that you have them, let you know that yes, you do have them. Okay, so advantages, like I mentioned, yeah, you listen and you listen to understand. Okay, naturally have this attitude and aptitude. You ask questions, you build rapport. Introverts aren't there for the quick buck. They understand that relationships take time to develop. You're not there to sell them something today. You know that there's more power in a relationship that takes time to develop, time to build that all important trust and develop the know, like, and trust. Introverts tend not to like small talk. We're not going to waste time with the weather or the Kardashians or anything minuscule. We don't actually like small talk. We're going to get straight to the important stuff. But it's in a very positive, respectful way. I don't mean diving in and asking, hey, do you want to buy this from me? Talking about, asking the questions like, what do you love about your business? Getting to the important stuff for people. Okay. As I say, developing trust is really important to us. Introverts don't tend to talk to as many people when they go to a networking event as an extrovert might, but the people that they do talk to, the one or two, and that's, as far as I'm concerned, if you go to a networking event and you talk to one or two people and that's all you talk to, but you'll probably find that you have a really, really good conversation with those and you actually do develop a connection and trust. And to me, that is a really successful event. I don't need to collect business cards from everyone or contact everyone. You'll find that the right people will gravitate to you. Okay. Okay, now the networking checklist. I'm actually going to go through this with you quite quickly, but I have a much fuller, more detailed list that I'm really, really happy to send to you. Okay, so we're probably going to go through this quite quickly and briefly. and it's kind of in a chronological order. So before you even go out networking, research what events will suit you. Have a look at Meetup. You can go to Eventbrite. Good old Google. Google is fantastic for helping you find events. So research those. Contact an organizer. When you find an event you think you might like, contact the organizer and just ask what their format is. And if they say speed networking, you might like to reconsider. But if they say, oh, we break off into groups of three, or we have a speaker, and then we just encourage people to talk to the person beside them, and then the person behind them. That's a much easier sort of networking opportunity for everyone. Really, it's much more effective than a place where you all have to stand up and have your 30 seconds, that kind of thing, which can put a lot of pressure on you. Okay. So the next thing is be ready. That's having your business cards ready. On your social media, have your profiles up to date. That's actually really important because when someone connects with you, and if they're interested in actually like doing business with you or employing you, those sort of things, they're going to go straight to Google. So make sure that when they Google your name, it comes up with what you want it to come up with. Have those LinkedIn profiles ready. Have the Facebook profile ready. Be careful about what people are going to see when they look for you. Okay. And the other thing is, when I say be ready, look, have a bit of an idea about what your elevator pitch is, just your few lines of who you are, what you do, what's unique about you, what you love about what you do. Just have those things sort of in your head ready so you can actually listen to other people without worrying about what you're going to say. I used to find myself in that situation all the time. I'd be so worried about getting something out properly that I couldn't listen to anyone until I'd had my go, gotten rid of that worry, and then could listen to everyone else. But I found being a little bit more ready actually meant I could relax a little bit more and actually listen to everyone else. An intention. Look, networking's lovely. You can have a lovely social time, but it's really great to actually have some kind of intention. And that might just be of, at this event, I'm going to meet two people, connect with them and stay in touch with them. And that's perfectly fine. If you go along without an intention, you might just find that you sit back, sit in the corner, don't actually make any connections, but you sort of go, oh yeah, I've done my networking this week. Okay. Now, as I've said, be there to help, be there to be of service. And I found a really great way of getting over my nerves especially when I first started networking, was help the organizer. So I would get there a little bit early. You'll find that often your organizer is busy with tech issues and things like that. And I would offer to sit at the registration desk and just tick names off of that kind of thing, help with name tags. And that was fantastic for me as a beginning networker. And even now, I still love doing it. I get to meet everyone. I get to meet everyone without any pressure. They were coming to me. I didn't have to go and look for them or feel self-conscious about approaching someone I didn't know. They're all coming to me, and I got to see, what their name was. And later, when you're mingling and that kind of thing, you're not meeting them for the first time. So I'd highly, highly recommend that as a top tip. See if you can help out on the registration desk. Okay. Now, observe. It's okay to stand back sometimes, have a look around a room, and just see who's talking to who and what about, and observe the body language and that kind of thing. Introverts learn a lot from just observing other people. So don't feel that you have to be like in there talking all the time. It's actually quite fine to step back and observe, and it helps you identify the hub. The hub is the person in the room that you'll see that nearly everyone knows them. Nearly everyone goes up and greets this person. They'll just about line up to be talking to them. A hub is a person who has lots of connections and um, yeah, refers people, and they're just a really, really great person to know. Whenever you need anything, when you need advice or a recommendation, go to your hub and say, hey, I need some help with a website. Who do you know who can help me? They will only ever give you trusted referrals. They've built their reputation on trust, and part of that is giving trusted referrals. So if they recommend someone to you, that referral's good. If a hub refers you, if you get a referral from them, that's absolute gold, because you don't have to spend the time building the trust with the person. The hub's done it for you. Yeah, as I said, connect with people, chat with them. Um, Another tip is, if you're a little bit shy and feel a little bit self-conscious turning up on your own, especially, find someone else that's on their own. This is something that saved me many a time. When I needed rescuing, I'd go and rescue someone else. If there was someone there alone, I would just go up and say, hi, are you here on your own too? This is one of my first networking events, blah, 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 blah. I want to hang out. And often they were very great, very, very grateful that they were no longer there on their own, feeling self-conscious too. So, and once you've paired up, you'll actually find that it's easier to go and talk to other groups, or for other people to come and join your group and meet more people. Now, I know it sounds tricky, but actually relax and have fun. Just have fun with it. You can't really stuff up. The worst thing that you can do is nothing. So if you're there at an event, you may as well just relax, enjoy it, be yourself, and yeah, don't worry too much about it. Okay, as I mentioned, follow up. Follow up is just so, so important, because so few people do it. It's absolute magic. Follow up with gratitude. Gratitude and saying thank you is just so powerful. It makes you look good. It makes the person that you're thanking look good, and everyone loves that. So who do you thank? You can thank the organizer for putting the event on. You can thank someone who made you feel welcome. You can thank anyone that took the time out to talk with you. And you can thank people. If you thank them publicly, that is absolutely huge. If you thank them with a physical product, like sending them a card or a physical note, because we get so few things in the mail these days, apart from the occasional bill, to actually get something lovely like a thank you is really, really super powerful. So yeah, consider that. Yep. Contact. Now, when I say contact, I mean contact them again. So it's a little bit like follow up. You can email people, send them a message on social media, that kind of thing. And also, now we're going to talk about reflecting on the event. So you've been to an event, have a bit of a think, have a look back and work out what you did right. So give yourself a pat on the back for everything that you did right, and have a little bit of a think about what you could improve, what you could do better next time. So reflection is really, really powerful. If we don't reflect, we can sometimes just do the same thing all the time, and not really progress. But if we look back and just examine what we did, work out what worked, what went well, what's good for us, that can be so powerful. Now, maintaining connections. This is where we get to show people that we remember them. And social media is a great place to do that. Whenever you can set up a Google alert to do this if you like. But whenever you see something that reminds you of someone that you've met, for example, I have a friend, she's the feminine guru, and she's very much about, empowering women and encouraging them to find their power within their femininity and that kind of thing. So when I found a poem that spoke very much about the power of the feminine, I sent it to her. It took me seconds, took me absolute seconds, and I could have just tagged her or shared it with her on Facebook. But it showed her that I was thinking of her and that I recognized what was important to her. So that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about there. So social media is a great way to um, keep up with our connections. So follow them on Facebook, follow them on LinkedIn, follow them on Instagram, but don't be a silent follower. Um, like their stuff, comment on their stuff. That's really, really the way to show that you are staying in connection. Comments are really powerful. And tag them in things that you think that they might be interested in or are relevant to you. Now, a CRM's a little bit down the track, and it's just a way of managing all your connections. So it's like a client relationship management system, and it can help when you get a lot of connections. It can just help you send personalized automation. So you might be able to send it out an email, but to everyone, but it'll at least have each person's name on there. Send out newsletters, that kind of thing. So let's okay. So sum it up. Connection brings you a world of opportunity, and that's why I'm such a fan of it. I've had so many wonderful things happen in my life, so many friendships. Yeah, as I said, I've had so many wonderful things happen in my life from networking. I don't want anyone to miss out. It took me years of struggles and working things out, and finally coming up with an actual system of doing things and a mindset that worked. So I put all these things into a book so everyone else's journey can be so much easier than mine was, so that you don't take 20 years to go from being so nervous and anxious to actually being confident, having fun, and being an effective networker whose life is enriched in so many ways and has so many wonderful opportunities. And I would love you to stay connected with me. So here are my Facebook, LinkedIn, um, email details, website, however you like to connect. I'm hoping that you will, and I'd love to answer any of your questions. Do send me an email if you would like the proper the checklist with a lot more detail. And it kind of goes in a chronological order. So it's a it's a cheat sheet. It's very practical, top tips for networking to just make it so much easier.